What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hello?
Hello.
Howdy.
Oh, okay. I was like, hello? How's everybody doing?
Hey,
How you guys doing?
Hello. Hey, hello.
Well,
Hey,
we took a week.
hello.
Alrighty then. Well, we took a week off. We are back. We are back for our live review of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I have my boy my girl Lilbaby in the house, and we are back. We are back. How's everybody doing? Y'all real? You took a break from the media of YouTube for a while. You were for a variety of reasons, but we do know you told us that you were going to be celebrating Passover.
That's correct. I took a week off, just wanted to enjoy that and just have a moment. Every now and again you need to decompress and just disengage from social media. Just to
Absolutely
back up. So that's all that was.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel the same way. I took last week off as well. I was traveling, and I took my laptop with me because I was like, oh, I'll try to get some reviews and stuff in here and there. And the laptop never left my bag. It never left my bag. So I do understand. Lilbaby, how are you? How are you today?
Child, you know how I'm doing.
Wow. Damn. Aggressive. Wow. Well, damn. All right.
Hi, chat.
Okay. All right. Lilbaby be doing a lot, y'all. I just want to let y'all know. Lilbaby be doing a lot. Okay. So since we both took last week off, we're going to go ahead and run down episode 7 and episode 8. Now here's. I can't do that for you. Oh, shut up, Siri. Siri got jokes. Is that what it is? She got that 904 energy. Is that what it is? So let's go ahead and just dig into it. So the review, last week's episode starts off where we left off with Jackie sort of giving it to Miss Teresa, and Teresa couldn't handle it, honey. Teresa got her little feelings hurt.
And that was every moment of it. I enjoyed that. I watched it back about a good 10 good times. It was so good.
Teresa got up from her seat, ran in the house, ran up in her room crying like a little kid, and then got mad at her brother talking about something. You didn't even have my back. He was like, are you serious right now?
Meanwhile, Frank is in the kitchen saying, I don't know any of this. What I do know is I need to clean these pots.
Listen, Frank is hilarious to me. I just need y'all to understand how funny I find Frank. And I listen, the more I watch this show, the more confused I am about this situation with him and Dolores. I am just like, and I know y'all keep telling me, I get it, but oh my gosh, it is crazy. It is so crazy.
I mean,
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
I think it's a beautiful thing that like it works for them. They ain't got to explain nothing to nobody. And I mean, hey, it just is what it is. And look, if she's allowing her ex-husband, to come get a taste every now and again, and then get arrested, David, I mean, ain't a problem with that. I don't see a problem with it.
I just say it's a throuple.
I mean, my thing is, for me, oh gosh, my thing is this. You're right. I mean, they don't have to explain to nobody. It works for them, and it clearly the boyfriend is okay with it. But the fact that we are now on episode, I'm gonna just go ahead and skip to episode 8. The fact that we are on episode 8. And I have seen Frank more than I have seen the boyfriend. Listen, if y'all weren't here to explain this to me, I would be so freaking confused. I would be like,
Well, one thing I will have to say, someone else said they believe that David has a more introvert personality, so maybe he's not like all here for the pomp and circumstance. Whereas it's very obvious, Frank and the rest of the husbands, they are just as much of the cast as the women are. They give it just as good.
Yeah.
Listen, I will say this. Out of all of the shows where we have the husbands that are a part of the show, this is so far my favorite. We know that Atlanta had like, they're not as involved as they used to be, but when it was like that whole Peter Thomas, Apollo, you know, when they had that whole little crew, Todd, they were like, yeah, like they wanted peaches. The New Jersey guys deserve whatever it is that they hold. They deserve their own spinoff. Like, I really feel like I need a moment with them because first of all, they're entertaining as hell. And I love them. They know exactly what their role is. They don't take that shit too seriously and they roll with it. Like, I mean, that's a fast forward to episode 8 where they were at the separate table for dinner. They knew exactly when to ask for the check. They was like, get the check. They get loud. Get the check. Like, they know what it is. They're like, we know we got to film this scene, but we don't want to be embarrassed. So we're going to let it get to a certain point, and then we're going to roll on out. We're going to roll on out of here. Anyway, but yeah, so Teresa acted a daggone fool, got her little feelings hurt, went upstairs crying like a baby. Joe went after her, and then he got mad because he was like, I know you're not. And then it was like he almost had a moment to think about all the times when Teresa didn't have his back, and he got mad. Yeah. He had a whole moment. And again, they gave us the flashback. Y'all know Bravo is good for the flashback. So they flash back.
I mean, yes, they are good with the flashback. It's just,
DC Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie was the shit. But I hate that one scene of Joe saying, you know, to his father, "You're my father." I hate seeing that because I have my own checker pass with my father who is deceased also. So every time I see that, it stirs something in me. And that's the one thing that I hate. And I said, well, like, please don't show that one. He is showing. I'd be like, fuck you. That's the only clip I don't like seeing. But yeah, they ran the package back. They ran it back.
Yeah. So, I mean, Melissa had a fit. Hey, baby. Melissa had a fit, and then Teresa had a fit, and then Joe had a fit, and then they sort of had to come back around after Joe kind of yelled at Teresa, and then of course she's sitting there looking like, what?
She looked like a knot on the log.
She looked totally dumbfounded, like
mouth wide open.
She wasn't ready.
In it.
She wasn't ready for just. She was cool with her and Melissa having a little tat. She wasn't ready for her brother. Because she didn't think there was an issue there. And it's always this issue of everybody has to have Teresa's back, but she doesn't have to have anybody else's back.
Right.
But you know whose back should have been had in that scene? That cheese tray. Melissa.
Oh, no!
You didn't have to turn that over. It sat there minding his business.
She wanted a moment.
Teresa needed, I say Melissa needed a moment. That's all. Melissa needed a moment, child.
But right quick, Really B, since you don't know about it. So with DC bringing up Rosie, so who that is, that's her cousin. So Teresa has a cousin named, Kathy, one of them two.
Kathy.
And her sister is Rosie, and her sister happens to be a lesbian. So whenever the guys would get together, Rosie would hang out with the guys, and it was pure good fun. Like when I tell you, like, and the thing, what was so messed up is Teresa got upset because Kathy had brought up her Joe going to prison, so she used that as a means to keep her off the show. So for that whole season, she didn't want to film with her, didn't want to do nothing with them. And I got upset with that because it's like, so you mad at them, and now you're depriving us of having Rosie. Like, I mean, again, Katie, whatever, I could do without it. But Rosie, I love Rosie. Like, she was good people. So
I don't, I guess I have to go back and figure out who Rosie is, child.
Oh yeah, Rosie was the shit.
So, mind you, we still on day one. We are still on night one. Jackie is still crying and in her feelings. Everybody's mad. Everybody crying.
Face red, snot running all down.
Nose red.
Well, Jackie was mad because she thought, she didn't think that this information had left just the immediate group. She got upset because like, okay, so now the men are talking about it. So I guess it's like, okay, well, now they're talking about it. Now it's really becoming a bigger thing. And that is what really fucked her up, especially given the fact that her husband is cool with them. So in her mind, you mean to tell me behind my husband's back, y'all are sitting here gossiping about him. Yet when y'all came to his second birthday party that Bravo told me to do, y'all just smiled up in this man's face and everything, knowing y'all had this conversation. That's kind of where she was at, and that's why she was fucking pissed.
Well, and Marge was mad as hell. Marge was like, "Did you say it? Did you?"
And you know why I think Marge is mad? Because I'm starting to, the way she's protesting, I'm starting to believe that's where the shit started.
Probably.
I mean, y'all know her better than me, but I didn't get that impression at all. I really, but y'all know her better than me, so
the way she's going about it, it's almost like, man, what do you know?
No, I think. Well, the way I took it was everybody had been standing on this moral high ground, like they didn't do what Teresa did, and how dare Teresa, and oh my goodness, Teresa is gossiping, and then for Marge to find out that her husband was the one that started the rumor, or that had something to do with it over to the guys' night. I feel like, to me, that's where it came from me, was that Marge was like, wait a minute, so I've been standing over here acting like Teresa is so horrible to be spreading this rumor, and now my husband was the one spreading the damn rumor too. Like, that's how I took it.
But and I mean, we're going to get to it, but when Bill finally joined, he said, maybe I shouldn't have brought this information. I'm looking at the TV like, you think?
Right, very right. Because and then her husband, the girl gonna say, "Well, you tell me everything." Yeah, but not for you to repeat. Like, you know, he shouldn't have brought it back to her, but she shouldn't have repeated it.
Well, that was pillow talk, pretty much. And you don't never take pillow talk outside the bedroom, and she did that.
Well, Tabitha, yes and no. They still talking about it, but we squashed it on this episode, at least for now.
Yeah, for now.
So we're reviewing episodes 7 and 8, and yes, we were still talking about it, but we have sort of moved in to a few other issues. And we'll talk about that. We were talking backstage about production and how it seems like with the Real Housewives of New Jersey, they have given us a multiple of storylines, whereas it seems like Real Housewives of Atlanta, Potomac, Beverly Hills, it just seems to give us that same. They get a dog with a bone and they just hold on to it for the whole season. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll get to that. We'll have that conversation. Well,
I just want to say right quick, I think part of it is also, in addition to all of them, they show up to work. Like, we got to give Jersey that they show up to work.
Jersey shows up to work.
But given the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic, I think they knew consciously, like, we can't do this show how we normally do it, so we have to have a storyline where we need to have it. And with them, and I know we're going to get to it, but with them deading the thing with Jackie this episode, the way that it played out and how they were talking, it seemed to me like they were saying, okay, this went way too far than where it needed to be. This has gone from just some reality TV stuff to this is truly affecting this woman's marriage, her psyche, and everything else. We need to go ahead and dead this and let's move on to whatever the next thing is, because the fact that we got over it so damn quick, it leads me to believe that it's just like, okay, this went too damn far. Let's just scrap this. What's next?
Right. Mm-hmm. So they get back to their prospective houses. At this point, I forget who's staying with who. Shit, I don't care. But they get back to the houses where they staying, and Jackie calls Evan and tells Evan what went down. At first she's telling him, I don't want you to come. But he's like, nah, I'm going to come. And I'm going to stay 10 toes down in it. And we're going to have a good time. And it's going to be what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Over to the other house, they are telling Teresa, girl, you just need to go on and apologize. Like, you was out of pocket. Like, you got mad because she came for you going to jail. But let's not forget how you've been coming for her for the last 3-4 weeks. And then you gave her a whole dildo and told her to stick it up her ass. I mean, let's not forget.
But what's funny, though, is this energy they gave her last week, they could have gave her that when they went to Lake George.
But I feel like they did.
No.
They gave it to her?
No, they didn't give it to her. When last week's episode, it was pretty much one of those where they all banded together and told her, "You will make this right." Because before it was, well, can you? Will you? It was almost like they was just dealing with kid gloves before. Last week's episode, it wasn't no kid gloves. It was, we taking these gloves off. You will do this, and we will move on. Like, that's the impression.
But you know what? But you know, But you know how I feel about that too. I feel about that is Jackie shows some fight, and I feel like people are willing to fight for you when you fight for yourself. And when I feel like when Jackie came back with the whole, you know, oh, you learned that in jail, I feel like they was like, oh shit. Like I feel like the reaction was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. That's how I feel like. I feel like they was kind of like, shh, we need to address this. But wait a minute, before we go, okay, so they, and even then Teresa was kind of like, what, apologize, what, apologize, but they finally told her ass she needed to damn apologize, okay? They're having breakfast. Can we talk for a minute about Joe working that grill and making them omelets on that grill? Can we talk about Joe working that grill?
They've been eating good since this show started. I'm happy.
I want some of Joe's cooking. I want one of them omelets, okay? I wanted one of them omelets.
All of them, quiet as it's kept, loud as it is, every last person on this show know how to cook.
Can I be stereotypical for a minute? Is that an Italian thing?
Yeah, that's food is their culture.
Right.
They get together, they eat big, and they drink big.
Because when I tell you that they have been getting it in. Mm-hmm. Even what was that last week? Was it last week? No, when they were at the thing for Dolores and they were all in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
I said, oh,
beautiful spread.
Yes. Yes. So they're all getting ready for their day, and you know, not Jackie. What's the other one's name? The drunk. What's her name?
Jennifer.
I knew it was a J. Jennifer is laying the foundation for her issue with Marge, right? Because now she's talking about, I can't believe Marge was talking to her husband like that. I can't believe Marge talked to him like that. Like laying that foundation, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. Though I didn't like, because you heard me say the last time we got together that I didn't like how Marge was trying to create a storyline of Jennifer drinking. And though I'm not here for Jennifer doing what she's doing, at this point, all is fair in love and war. Like, I can't stand Jennifer. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, well, I mean, this tit for tat.
You've been taking your shots too. At this point, both of y'all duke it out. We're gonna see who stands last.
Listen,
my money's on Jennifer.
Listen, when Jennifer threw, we'll get there, but when Jennifer threw that jab at Marge, we're gonna get there in a few minutes. We're gonna get there in a few minutes. Jennifer's husband showed up, and they give him the rundown on what happened the night before. Of course, every time somebody new get there, they got to break it down for him. They get over to the house. They go over to the house to go swimming. They're going over to Joe and Melissa's house to go swimming and all that good stuff. And we have lunch. Everything is cool to lunch. No. Rewind. I'm sorry. Let me rewind. Jackie apologized. No. Because apologize is too strong of a word for what Jackie. I mean, Teresa acknowledges that she was mean to Jackie because she never apologized. I didn't hear the word "I'm sorry" come out her mouth or "I apologize" come out her mouth. I heard an acknowledgement that maybe I said too much. That is what I heard. I did not. Now, did y'all hear an apology? Because maybe I missed it.
I guess with Teresa, like, you take what you get.
Yeah.
At least you got that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get an apology, but I did get an acknowledgement that maybe I did too much.
She said something along the lines of, I was not trying to hurt you or your family. And yeah, it was pretty much it. She was just like, I wasn't trying to hurt you or your family.
Right, which of course, I don't know what you thought you were going to possibly do by spreading the rumor that my husband is cheating on me at his birthday party. I don't know who you thought you was hurting, but okay. All right. Okay. then she said, "Okay, now you can say that to my husband." And I thought Jackie brought up a good point when she said when Teresa was like, "I don't feel comfortable talking to your husband." She was like, "But you felt comfortable spreading the rumor about my husband. You need to feel comfortable apologizing to my husband." Okay,
very true.
And then Teresa talking about something. Well, where I come from, the guys handle the guys. No, not in that situation. You make your bed, lie in that one, boo.
Yeah, but that's one thing that you see a lot when it comes to, well, the Gorgas in general and Dolores, where it's whenever something crazy happens, it's the whole, well, I'm old school, or right. This is how we were brought up, this is how we were cultivated. And right. I'm just trying to figure out, I would love to go back in time and be around, that group of Italians just to see what would happen in a situation such as that of somebody spreading a lie and just how that would be handled.
You ain't gotta go too far back. Look at the christening. Look at
I'm saying independent of this shit.
I feel like, and this is my opinion, this is not based on any fact because I don't know, but I feel like the husband would have checked Teresa because the husband would have said you were wrong. That's how I feel.
Joe Giudice would not, because Joe Giudice has literally supported her in her BS and kept her delusions going. So Joe Giudice wouldn't have helped.
But I'm saying we're talking about old school. I think old school, that's how I ain't talking about Joe. I'm just saying in general, like the old school, how it would have been handled. You know what I mean? But either way, when Evan gets there, Teresa gives him the same bullshit and he accepts it because I think he's just ready to move on at that point. Like, listen,
I'm just tired of it.
I'm just tired of it. I'm just ready to move on.
Right, DC. Teresa doesn't have a man on her behalf to acknowledge her. Joe's in Italy.
And I mean, not to sound, like an asshole, but her father does go on the glory, so she really don't. She ain't got nobody.
Yeah, I mean, which is all the more reason why you need to handle that. Like, even if that's how it would have been handled in the past, then basically what you're saying is you feel like Joe's supposed to do that. Like, he the only guy that can speak on your behalf. If your father and your husband can't do it, you feel like Joe's supposed to do it. Is that what you're saying?
See, but I also didn't like how Dolores was trying to defend Teresa in her confessional, saying, well, maybe she doesn't want to talk to Evan because of how Joe talked to her. And it's like, you can't do that. You can't. So pretty much because your husband verbally, went at your head every chance he got, you feel that every man is going to do that. And at the same exact time, sweetheart, you allowed your husband to talk to you that way, to disrespect you that way, to call you and see you next Tuesday amongst every other thing else. And here's the other part. If you are afraid of interacting with a man, then maybe you should not have said man's name in your mouth going around spreading all this BS.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, not to beat this dead horse, but to go all the way back to the beginning, Teresa, you was out of pocket, period. Like, yes, we all gossip. We do. We absolutely gossip. When I say we all, I'm not saying every individual person in the world gossips, but I mean, for the most part, we gossip. We hear some juicy tea. We want to spill it. Like, that's the new terminology. You want to spill the tea. But again,
it's also how you do it. You don't go around to someone's birthday party.
In this situation, the way in which had Teresa waited until the next lunch scene with the girls, it wouldn't have even been a blur. It wouldn't have even been an issue. It was when she did it and how she did it, which is what the issue was. And that's really, and again, I don't want to beat that dead horse. I feel like we are all in agreement on that. So they apologize. Well, like I said, as close as we gonna get. Joe thanks her for apologizing so we can all fucking move on and have a great weekend. Like, So then we having lunch. And no sooner do we sit down to have lunch, everybody done made up. We all having a good time. That damn Jennifer and Marge getting to it.
Because we just showed up to work.
And we gonna put in our 2 cents now. We'd all clocked in. We gonna pull our load.
Or listen. So they get into it about, I think Marge made a smart comment about Jennifer's drinking and her embarrassing her husband and getting sloppy ass drunk.
Actually,
go ahead. You got your notes in front of you, so I defer to you, sir.
Jen brings up Marge and Joe. She brings them up.
That's right. Yeah, she brings up how she talks to her husband and how that's an embarrassment. I knew the word embarrassment.
So Jen decided, like, okay, well, damn it, this beef right here is over. Let me get to the next thing. So I'm gonna sit down.
Hey, KK.
Hey, KK. Hey, everybody that's come in. I don't want nobody to feel like I'm ignoring them. Hello, everyone that has come in, and yay, and yay. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all. Oh Lord. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's right. That is how it happened. That Jennifer brought up the fact that she felt like the way Dolores spoke to her, Marge spoke to her husband was disrespectful and it was embarrassing. And how dare you talk to your husband like that? Why would you talk to him like that? That was disrespectful. That was rude. Yada yada yada. And Marge responds, "Well, I feel like you disrespectful by getting sloppy ass drunk." I feel like that's embarrassing. And then she came back with
hit the quitter though.
Well, I think it's embarrassing to sleep with my boss. I mean, I know that's not the exact words, but it was something with the boss, her coming back to my sleeping with her boss. Which of course sets Marge all the way off. And the guys are off on the side having, shots of tequila, and they were like, "What the fuck? We were just having a good time. What are they arguing?"
You saw Joe had rallied them up. Joe had said, they starting up. Let's go. Let's leave. Let's go over here.
So the way that it happened is the whole embarrassing thing. And then Marge was just like, "Will you embarrass your husband in front of him when you get sloppy drunk?" Da, da, da. So then Jennifer was like, "Well, since you want to bring up sloppy moments, you slept with your boss."
Right.
And it was the sloppy word and that whole and all of what that entails. And
that was the sloppy moments. You're right. That's what it was. You're right. I don't know why bear is stuck in my head for some reason, but sloppy, yeah. Now let me say this. I feel two ways about this, and then I'm gonna let y'all speak on it. I feel two ways about this. I feel like the comment was rude and out of pocket. And I feel like it was out of context. But then the flips, like you said, y'all fighting. So, you put it out there and it is in the book. It's not like she told a deep, dark secret. Like you're literally getting ready to tell the world. But again, it's out of context because she wasn't speaking on it as if, I slept my way to the top. She was speaking on it as, listen, this is where I was young in my career. I thought this is what I had to do to move further. And now because we have this moment, she wasn't saying she was a victim of Me Too, but she was saying now that we have this era of Me Too, other women don't have to necessarily feel like that is their only option to be successful. That's how I took it. I didn't take it that she was trying to say I was a victim of Me Too. I think she was saying I felt like this is what I had to do. So a part of me is like, listen, let's not take away from the real struggle. But then the other part of me is like, well, girl, y'all fighting.
And how I felt about it, I get that. Yeah, it's public, and she and Jennifer threw it in her face as a demerit. But at the same time, Marge, you threw up Jennifer being drunk in front of her husband as a demerit. So both at that point, I saw two equal blows come from opposite directions.
You only married to your husband, he your paycheck. He's your sugar daddy or whatever she said about the man.
Baby, she was going off.
Well, look, so first and foremost, it's a fight. Because I'm not going to come down on neither person for going in the way they did, because I've already told y'all, if I'm going at war with somebody, I'm not going for the low-hanging fruit, but I'm going to hit you where it hurt. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care if I got to talk about your granddaddy twice removed. I'm finna sit here and I'm going to talk my shit. That's just me. But Marge, see, here's the thing, and hopefully y'all listening to me when I'm saying what I'm about to say. What you never do is you never give anybody any ammunition. If it's in the book, wait for the book to come out to discuss it. But what you did is you sat here and you gave somebody that you obviously don't jail with some ammunition to use against you. Now, the way in which she threw it at her, did it really fit the context of the conversation? No. But was it a 2-piece of the biscuit nonetheless? Yes, it was. And hey, guess what? That was Marge's fault. I wish I would sit around some people that I quote unquote work with, because not all of them are real friends. Like, some of them are friends, but not all of them. I ain't gonna sit here and tell, if I'm at a group setting and one person in the group I don't fuck with, I am not gonna sit here and say nothing that can come back at me. Hell to the no.
Yeah, I think sometimes you give people ammunition. I think it's one of those things where you have to be cautious of your surroundings at all times, because I think in that moment, Marge was being vulnerable and opened herself up, but forgetting that she wasn't amongst friends. Like, everybody at this table ain't your friend. Some of these people are just co-workers and you doing your job. And so I agree that, I think sometimes we forget everybody here ain't your friend, But Flying Brian, let me say this. Flying Brian, I feel the same way. I think there are sometimes Dolores looks gorgeous, and then there are times where I'll be like, what the hell is going on with Dolores? I don't know if it's the spray tan. I don't know if it's the bad hair extensions. I don't know what it is.
Speaking of bad hair extensions, what the hell was going on with Jackie's hair? Oh my God. It was like straight, and you could tell the humidity had gotten to it. And by the end of the night, it looked like a bird's nest. I'm like, man, what is this?
I ain't gonna touch that. So anyway, all I was going to say is, well, even though Marge said what she said in a moment of, being vulnerable, if you are writing a book or whatever, or if you're getting ready to sit here and spill your guts, you first need to come to terms fully with everything that happened before you put it out there, because you can tell she still hadn't fully come to terms with that. Something else happened in that situation between her and her boss. Something else happened there, but she hadn't fully come to terms with it. Because if you
it might be in the book, like the whole thing might be in the book. I don't know.
It might.
She told us so she could get the audio version.
I was like, did you just call her without calling her?
Listen. She said this is so smooth. I was like, I for a minute read, baby, she threw that thing out there so smooth.
Look, Marge was ready. She was ready.
She was in that house eating. And did you hear Joe say, I can hear Marge's big mouth, Joe Gorga, and then Joe, her husband, gonna say, yeah, she has some good lungs. I'm like, so is she a newborn baby or something? Like, that's the last time I heard that phrase used.
But at the same time, though, like, I do feel that Joe B should have checked Joe G in the moment. It's like, I know my wife is loud, but you're doing too much. It should have been a real quick, hold on, Pimpin'.
I feel like you talking about Marge's husband, Joe?
Joe B.
Joe don't check nobody, including Marge. Joe don't Let's be clear. You think that he was gonna check Joe Gorga? Was it Gorga?
Gorga.
Is that what was getting ready to happen? Child. What was he checking?
I mean, even if it isn't a check, just be like, hey, like, I know we joking, but that's still my wife. Like, because I'm pretty sure if anybody said anything remotely crazy about Melissa, Joe Gorga would have had a Roy's flare up and would have went ham.
Oh, not a Roy's flare up.
I said what the hell I said.
I just think Joe B was thinking the same thing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes they don't listen. Sometimes they don't correct each other because they agree. They're like,
if you know the
had nothing to say.
But if you know the cameras is right there, at least pretend to sit here and have a little bit of oomph with you, because the playback don't happen, and you ain't pretty sure.
It's like, oh no.
Because I'm pretty sure Marge was looking at him like, oh, so I got some good lungs. Like, I'm pretty sure he paid for that shit.
I'm sure he paid for it. Well, that was the end of episode 7. So let's pick up with episode 8. It's the next day, because every time they get into these big fights, everybody just go back to their own house. Everybody, the van is miraculously waiting outside for them to just go back to their own house.
to plan for the next meal.
Plan for the next shenanigan, right? So the next day, they're going out on the boat to go to a restaurant where you can ride the boat up to the restaurant, and then they're going to have the memorial later on that night. Let me say this: the first time I saw that, and I've done it. I've actually done it. And I thought that I was rolling with some rich folk when I did it. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm riding on the boat. We parking in the boat slip. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's a feeling. And that's a beautiful boat that Frank has. That is a nice ass boat. With them leather seats. Them butterscotch leather seats. Anyway, I'm sorry. Did I go left? My bad. I went left. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of did.
And can I say that Marge is my spirit animal with the moo-moos? Marge knows she keep a moo-moo. Okay.
What's a moo-moo?
The big house, like the big flowy dresses and garments.
House coats.
Oh,
yeah, like, would you say it again? Caftans. Some people call them caftans. Yeah. That's my spirit animal because I keep me a good caftan, okay? I love, especially when I'm on vacation, because then I can just keep my bathing suit on all day and I don't have to worry about really getting child. Anyway, but Marge knows she keep one, okay? Marge keep a flowy garment, okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Shout out to the rich.
Okay. She knows she keep a flowy garment. Okay. So they get to the restaurant and because of COVID restrictions, they have to see 8 to a table. So the women end up at one table and the men end up at the other table, which I'm sure they were fine with. I'm sure. Did y'all see how fast the men went over to the other table? Did you see how fast they was like, okay?
Because they didn't deal with this shit just happened not that long ago. We ain't even trying to deal with it right now. We're gonna leave y'all over there. We're gonna sit
and they've already determined they get together over food, they show they behind.
Right. So they get to dinner, all of the guys are there. All the ladies are there, and I feel like we got through most of dinner pretty relatively easy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit of chitter chatter, a little bit of small talk, Well,
so I want to say something right here.
Sure, go for it.
Because what we got in this particular episode, I don't know how to feel about it. Because obviously, like I said, I've been watched the whole thing, so I know what didn't happen. But it seems like are we rehashing the storyline between Melissa and Joe G that we already had? And at the same time, it's like it's one thing if we would have seen glimpses of this in all the seasons since it first came up, but we've had several seasons of this not being an issue. With last season, y'all were trying to have a baby last season, but now all of a sudden, and I'm not saying that this isn't an issue, but now this is a big issue now, but it wasn't a big issue last season.
And it came out of nowhere, and that is why, to me, this episode said, teamwork makes the dream work. We are showing up to work. Everyone has thrown their hats in the ring. It's time we start.
Yeah. That was my only thing with it. And part of me also feels that I might give Melissa just a little bit that maybe she don't know, and maybe this is Joe trying to save her job. But I don't know. I really don't. I'm just like, this is stupid. And even in Joe trying to explain it, it didn't that's why I feel like this is a scheme Joe Gorga set up to come to us with the bullshit. Because he can't even explain why he's upset.
It made no sense. It came out of nowhere. I'm like, everyone's going to the vehicle to go back home. Yeah, somebody's going to leave out first. Yeah. No one's getting on a vehicle all at once.
So let me say this. As new kid on the block, right? As new kid on the block, this is what I saw. I'm only looking at this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if production did not do a good enough job of building this up, but I didn't see it. It seemed like they tried to turn it into Joe is just being a chauvinist and, oh my gosh, he just can't accept the new and improved Melissa. But we've seen a couple of times this season Joe wanting attention and affection from her. Not so much. Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. This is a new kid on the block perspective. Y'all have a different perspective. I'm just saying, as from what I'm seeing, And let me say this, and the women in the chat are gonna probably get mad at me when I say this. I can't stand to see a married man begging for sex from his wife. I just can't stand to see it. And I feel like Joe, in every episode, in some way, shape, or form, is begging for attention from Melissa. To me, that's not, oh, I'm on red carpets and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. That's, you are literally sitting right here. And I'm like, yo, can I get a little attention from my wife? Like, to me, that's not. Now, again, maybe it was a rehash storyline. Y'all would know, I don't. Maybe production did a bad job of building it up, and because it did look like it came out of nowhere. Like, you got this mad because she walked out the restaurant first. Like, really? This is a lot. And then they even tried to bring up the whole what happened at Lake George, which was clearly a joke that ain't nobody brought up since it happened. Now you're trying to turn it into this whole big production. So don't get me wrong. I am not sitting here saying that it made sense, but I felt like they were trying to say that more so than, oh, he's just this male chauvinist gorilla man. But again, if it's a rehash storyline, then all of it's stupid. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's definitely a rehash. My only thing is, had this been a needle that was thread throughout all of the seasons since it first came up, I wouldn't be mad at the blow, even though it did come out of left field. But the fact that we haven't even visited this topic in several seasons, and now we're revisiting this,
right?
Here's the piece. You mad at her for doing this, bruh, man. I understand in Jersey, COVID probably don't exist there, but we in COVID right now. So what red carpets is she going to? What photo shoots is this woman doing? I'm pretty sure exactly in her boutique right now. So again, maybe for the other viewers, they don't see it, but I just sat back just like, do I look like Boo Boo the Fool to you?
Right, and I feel the same. Now I do feel the same way. I felt like, again, I didn't feel like this was about her having all these obligations and being so busy. I didn't get that. I really didn't. I got this as he's not getting the attention. Now, whether it's warranted or not, let's be clear. I'm not saying he's the perfect husband and she's a horrible wife. That is not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, I don't think this is so much, that fight was so much about him being a chauvinist as it was there being some sort of disconnect in their marriage. Now, again, if this is a recycled storyline, because it did seem forced. It just seemed like it came out of, like, y'all were fine, and it just came, and then it seemed like it left as fast as it came, and she tried to say, oh, well, you know, we got family coming over, and we got guests, and we don't have time to really hash this out right now. And I'm like, yeah, because it ain't really nothing there. Like, to me, it just ain't really nothing there to hash out. You know what I'm saying?
And then to add insult to injury, ain't nobody going well. So it's like, why are we here? We're here because we showed up to work.
Okay. Wasn't Melissa complaining in the beginning of the season about needing some time outside the house away from the kids? But I think that's everybody during COVID. I think that's every mama's story during COVID. Like, you know, and I get it. Like, I get it. You know, you go from, you know, I get it. I think, especially when you have multiple kids, multiple ages, school, all that. So I think that's but I think that's a lot of people's story in during COVID.
Okay, so I guess to get us back on track.
At
the table. Some way, somehow, Teresa is yet again talking about, you know, a man and all this other stuff. So the women begin to give her advice, because this all stems from this little tiff that's going to happen in between Melissa and Joe. And then you have Jennifer says, you know, well, how does she say it? Hold on, wait. Gosh darn it, it's right here. Hold on. Pretty much it says, don't yell at your husband or boyfriend, or don't talk to him in a very messed up way. And Marge's foot got ran over. So she yelled, you know, like I said, a hit dog will holler. And she was like,
yeah, because she really did immediately. It was like,
and she was like, so do
hey,
you
Dominique,
that I disrespect my husband? And yeah. Now these two are just going back and forth. And then at the other table, you have Joe Gorga saying to Joe B that in his relationship, he wears a G-string and Marge wears
Right.
skins, which is obviously very, caveman-ish, if you will.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I'm like, if that's their relationship dynamic, if Joe B is okay, leave it alone. Because the both of you are, go.
So
that's my whole thing right there. I just feel like if especially when it comes to other people's relationships, what works for them is for them. Like that's their business. If he asked for your advice, which I didn't see him ask. I don't feel like that's your business.
Yep. Well, Marge says to her table, everybody wasn't themselves last night. So this is her trying to, conceal this thing. Jen says to Marge that you're no stranger to meanness, and says that, my husband isn't my meal ticket. Marge says your aspiration is to be a housewife and to live off your husband. I'm just like, okay, well, y'all just not gonna let this shit go, are we? Y'all just... But
and
again,
Jackie has this whole confessional about how she loved being a housewife and how being a housewife is harder sometimes than being a girl. If you don't go sit down somewhere and be happy that ain't nobody talking about your husband cheating on you.
Okay.
She was trying to have Jen's back because they had somewhat of a friendship when they first came on. So this is her trying to have her back just a smidget. No, we're not doing that. Okay. Look, I was trying, but Jen pissed me off when she says, "Oh, Marge belittles mothers." And I felt like she was trying to gaslight all of the mothers.
She was. That was absolutely a cry. That was absolutely a call to action. Yes, that absolutely is what that was.
And none of the women took the bait, and I was like, "Thank you." But I sat back and was like, "Oh, I see what you doing, Jennifer. You ain't slick." Because it was so random, and I hate when people do generalities like that because like what you're doing, and I guess maybe she felt that she couldn't verbally fight with Marge. Like I got that feeling like, because what other reason would you have to say that?
I don't know. And I was out of order, you guys. This is when they went to dinner that night. The next day is when they go to the lunch and they take the boats to the restaurant. So I'm sorry, I'm a little ahead of myself. I gotta listen. All they've been doing is eating, child. I got the meals out of order. My bad.
Then the ladies got crunk and the men decided to cut that dinner short, just like
they was like, check right here, just the check. We'll split it up later. Somebody take out their credit card that can pay for this bill, and let's get the fuck out of here. Like that's what that was.
And then this is when Joe gets in the car, slams the door, has this fake ass argument with Melissa. They go back to the house. They rehash it out. Nothing is handled. Next day, it is the day of the
memorial. Right. This is the day of the memorial. So, and I guess they talked and made up because Joe he made the announcement to everybody that they had sex. So
that was his way of saying, "Hey, we had sex, so obviously we're not mad at each other no more."
I don't know why people feel that way. You can have angry sex. Get up and still be mad.
This is Joe we're talking about. Look, the only thing that Joe has on his mind is making money and banging Melissa. That's it. And maybe eating and drinking in between the two, but that's all that's on that man's mind is making money and banging his wife. That's it.
And that could be it too, Patty Duke. I was thinking the same thing, that maybe this is something that they're going to build on. But again, I'm new to the show, so my point of view is a little limited as far as I only see what's in front of me. I don't have that's why I have my two co-hosts here with me to give me the background knowledge.
So we have them having lunch yet again, because that's all they've been doing has been eating and cussing each other out.
I'm surprised nobody has gained weight.
Yeah.
They just go get it all sucked out. That's all.
So Evan jokes about dating a lot of women, which I'm like, and I applaud him. Like, okay, he done took it on the chin, and this is his way of saying, like, okay, yeah, what's your ha? I'm gonna participate a little bit. Let's move on. Let me see. Melissa shares with Joe. What? Okay. So they talk about. Okay, we're not talking about them. Nobody care about them. But all that happened in this moment at this particular scene is Joe left his phone on the table unattended on purpose. And it was a big old plot to, see if Melissa will take the bait. So somebody, a realtor, whatever, called his phone several times. She answers, hangs up, calls back, nothing happens. And then Melissa figures it out that it was a ploy. Then they do a flashback to the previous day, or maybe not long ago, that they were going to do this. And now Joe feels happy because she got jealous. And if she got jealous, that means she still has to fire for me.
No. That is not what it means, Joe.
That's not what it means.
That is not what that means, Joe. Joe.
Was that Frank calling his phone? Because Frank was on the phone too.
It was Frank.
It was Frank. Yeah. He changed Frank's name to Giselle. And it was Frank calling him. Like, that's not how that works, Joe. That's not how that works.
And I mean, other than that, and I'll let the women take this last piece because I fast forwarded past this because I didn't fucking care. But after that, it is the ceremony for their father. So I'll let. I'm
not gonna say I cared that much. I just thought it was really nice, though. I think it was tastefully done. I think bravo. I think the celebration itself looked really nice. Everybody wore white. And let me say this. Let me tell you how smart this was of them. Because of COVID, they could not have an actual funeral for their father. But we're filming for the show, and the show is going to make sure that everybody that shows up is going to be COVID tested, and it's going to be a safe environment. So if we have a celebration for the show, for filming, then we can invite whoever we want, and we'll know it'll be safe. I was like, bravo. So they were able to have a memorial for their dad that they really didn't have to pay for. They didn't have to worry about whether it was going to be COVID safe, because the show was going to make sure that everybody got tested and that it was safe, and that they were able to have a nice celebration. I thought that was, listen, bro, I don't know if they thought it through like that, but that's what I thought.
Read what these teachers.
I can't stand her.
Bro, you are wrong. Oh, God.
I can't stand her.
Sugar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so and that was pretty much it. So last night episode gave us nothing.
The only thing I think it gave us is I don't think we've seen the end of the Marge Jennifer situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
And I don't think we've seen the end of the Joe Melissa situation. That's how I feel.
Well, I just don't know how to feel about the whole Joe Melissa thing. Like I said, had we seen sprinkles of this throughout all the other seasons, I wouldn't be upset. But the fact that it just came out of left field.
It definitely came out of nowhere.
Tried to build on it at the dinner saying, oh, well, you did the same thing in Lake George. And like you saw him trying to create the moment.
Right. And it was like, are you serious right now? Like literally nobody has talked about Lake George since we left Lake George. Like, nobody.
I mean, can we at least give him a C for effort?
No. Because it just came out of nowhere. Like, it was like, Joe, really, you mad because she didn't walk out the restaurant with you? Like, and I could even see if he was drunk, but he wasn't even acting like he was drunk. Like, they had been drinking, but he wasn't. I could even see if he could come back later and be like, y'all know I was a little drunk last night. My bad, I was tripping. But it wasn't even nothing like that. It just came out of nowhere.
I would have accepted that more if he was drunk and it was one of those like, this is something I've been feeling and I've just suppressed it and I got drunk and it slipped out and now I gotta say that would have worked.
I could give you that. But it just seemed like it came out of nowhere. All right. Well, let's hit a couple of hot topics before we get out of here. I don't have a whole lot today, but let me hit a few things and see how y'all feel about it. Let's see what I got here. Oh, yeah, I have an announcement to make. I'm very sad to announce I'm going to be losing my co-host at the end of the month. Niecy's leaving me.
Oh, no!
I know. I'm so sad. So sad. Did you hear her? She's talking about some bye guys. Like, she's over it. She literally just said bye guys and walked out the door. Like, she's not leaving right this second, but she literally just walked out the door.
DC, I'm waiting for
But
more
I
China.
really am
I'm praying
sad.
for more
I really am
China.
sad that she's leaving, though, y'all. I really am. I didn't think I was gonna be that sad, but I am. I thought I would be like, oh, she's leaving. Okay, all right. So LeBron James and his production company have announced that they have plans to reboot House Party. Yay or nay?
Nay.
I'm definitely nay. I am definitely nay.
I don't acknowledge anything past 2.
Now, if we're saying that we want to reboot, like, are you saying you're going to do another sequel with like the kids and like continue the story of these characters? I don't know if I'm here for it, but I'm more open to that than you just redoing the movie. And I'm going to tell you why. For obvious reasons. One, we don't need it. We didn't ask for it. We don't need it. Okay, that's the obvious reason. 2, there was such classic performances in this movie. Robin Harris, you will never be able to duplicate. Like this, I don't care what comedian you get. I don't care. You cannot duplicate what Robin Harris brought to this movie. Okay, you just can't give it to me again. It just can't happen. You know, the chemistry between Kid and Play, the chemistry between Tisha Campbell and AJ, Martin Lawrence, like it's too much there that you just can't give it to us. And we didn't ask for it. This is my problem. There are 5,672 screenwriters waiting tables in Los Angeles right now that got 20 scripts sitting on their kitchen table. We can't go find one of them. We can't get one of them. Somebody got a script that's an urban comedy about some high school kids that's going to give us a little different twist, that's going to give us a little different flavor, that's going to introduce us to a whole new generation of actors and actresses like this movie did. Why we can't go find these people? I don't understand why we have to keep fucking rebooting what has already been put out there. Thank you, Abby. Rest in peace to Robin Harris and Robin Williams, okay?
Well, of course, they're trying to make money off of the nostalgia. That's really all that it is.
I get that part, but normally the reason why this stuff fails.
Is one of them. That's right. My baby Xavier is one of them. He said one of them is right here. Y'all know Xavier is a screenwriter, right? I'm like, all jokes aside, he is a screenwriter. So one of them is right there. Absolutely.
Part of why these reboots and rehashings fail is because when the original was done, it was damn near improv.
Not only that, but here's the thing that people don't understand. So many of these movies that they're trying to recreate, it was lightning in a bottle. Like y'all, you younger than me. The people who are in my age group and older, because you have an old spirit, so I always feel like you're my age, but you're not. But for example, the House Party was an instant classic. It was an instant classic. The Coming to America, the Harlem Nights, the New Jack Cities, like these movies became. It wasn't like they had to grow on you. Nah, you saw that shit on Friday and your ass went back on Saturday because it was before the days of everything you streaming. It was in the early years of bootleg movies. Like people were just starting the bootleg movies, but you went to see it on Friday and you turned around on Saturday and went with a different group of people to see that shit again because it was so funny and it was so good. Hell, it might have been the same group of people, and so. You just can't duplicate that. But I feel like we can that's why I said if we're going to take those characters and we're going to, like, for example, what Lena Waithe did with Boomerang. I was here for what Lena Waithe did with Boomerang. She did not try to recreate the movie. She took the kids, the siblings of the characters from Boomerang, and she built a whole different storyline, set it in modern times. She had a lot of nostalgic moments throughout the show. There were things that you'd be like, okay, that was from the movie. Oh, okay, that was from the movie. Like there were nostalgic things, but it's a totally different story. So if they're going to do something like that, where they're going to take these kids, kids, plays kids, Tisha Campbell, whatever, and they just make cameos here and there, but the primary show or movie is about those kids. I'm open to that. I ain't saying I'm liking it. I'm saying I'm open to it.
I just want to say, since everybody wants to try to do all of these, let's do some nostalgia stuff. How about we go and we pick these African American and African superheroes and villains, and how about we give them a movie like Storm? Because Storm still needs her movie, and I don't think we go get Storm and Black Panther because they were a thing once upon a time. What about Static Shock? Like, it's a lot of stuff that we can sit here and give some energy to that we're not doing it because people are for Storm movie. They're asking for some type of Static Shock reboot.
Yeah,
we're
they absolutely are. And hell, I'm not even into movies like that, but I know that. I mean, not movies, but I'm not even into the comics like that, but I know that. You know what I'm saying? Let me say this. Xavier said he sort of has an idea for that with Harlem Nights, and I think that would be great because of the way Harlem Nights ended. The fact that they all kind of got run out of town at the end, and they were going to, I think they were going to St. Louis or something to start they were going down south somewhere like either New Orleans or St. Louis or something like that. I think that would be absolutely a great idea to have the descendants of those main characters come, because let's be clear, all of them dead except for Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. I mean, not all of them, but you know what I'm saying. You know, the Red Fox, the Della Reese, the Richard Pryors. So you can't really bring them back anyway. But I think that would be a great idea, Xavier. I think that'd be a really good idea. Okay, well, we might as well stay in the arena of things we didn't fucking ask for. Tyler Perry is going to do a prequel to Madea for Showtime called what's her name? Maybelline. What's Medea's real name? Maybelline. What's her real name?
Maybelle attends Head Start.
Mabel. And it's gonna be a series, so it's not a movie. It's gonna be a series. It's a prequel, so I guess it's gonna be her when she's young, in her younger days. Listen,
so we're gonna watch.
Nobody asked for it.
And
nobody asked for it. Nobody asked.
How to use a 6-shooter.
I mean, we're gonna see her as a scripper on the pole. Like, nobody asked. I feel like a lot of the Madea stories work well with our imagination and not necessarily us seeing it. I mean, Madea on a pole works well with my imagination. I don't really need to see it happen.
Well, look, Tyler knows that it's his cash cow because he wanted to retire the Madea character only to bring it back because he realized that Madea makes him money. And hey, I mean, look, he has his fans. If they gonna watch it, I mean, hey.
Xavier said Tyler is just going to produce it, that there'll be other writers. Well,
thank God.
Thing, because we already know how we feel about him writing it. So, okay. Yeah.
Ugh.
Sure.
Pay them union fees and hire some actors.
Okay, you better go on. You better do it. All right. All right. I think we have one more story, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. This is just a little This is just a little tidbit. Target set to spend $2 billion at Black-owned businesses by 2025 to advance racial equality. I'm gonna say this about Target. Target has already been doing this. Target did not just start doing this with Black Lives Matter, and for that, I will respect them for that. Because I remember the Honey Pot company was in Target first. I remember, even though every Hue Beauty is now defunct, it was in Target. Mm-hmm. And I know that Target has had a lot of Black-owned businesses. What's the hair company where the lady committed suicide? What was the hair company, y'all? Lilbaby, you remember? And it was like sisters. There was two sisters, and one of the sisters committed suicide.
I have an idea of who you're talking about.
I don't want to. I hate to say it like that, but I just can't. That's how I remember the company. But somebody in the chat's going to remember it. But they were in Target. So I feel like this isn't something Target is just doing to be on trend, and they've been doing it.
They've had Iman, Lip Bar.
Yeah, lip bar. Yeah. So I can respect it because I feel like this isn't something new. And for them to say that we want to, by 2025, which really is not that far away, we're talking about 4 years from now, that we want to have a $25 billion investment, I'm here for it.
And in some instances, black-owned companies, they start selling in major retailers via Target.
Yeah,
I know a lot of independent companies that have started off in Target. Soul Tanicals is one of them. God, it's so many brands. Taraji, her hair care brand started off in Target.
Oh, really? Okay.
So a lot, and Target also has like almost like exclusives to a lot of these black-owned businesses. So Target ain't new to this; they true to this.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I've always been a Target fan. Even if I worked at Target when I was in college, child. Let me tell you something.
I've worked at Target too.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how slick Target was. This was good marketing. Let me tell you how slick Target ass was. So for a Target, for an employee, and I work for Walmart and Target, so I'm telling you the difference, okay? You got your discount off for everything, even clearance items. So I forgot what our discount was at Target, but I do remember as a college student getting 10, it was 10 or 20%, whatever it was.
I wish it was 20.
Was it 10%? It was 10%.
Unless if it was 20 for you, I'm bad, but it was 10 for me.
Well, it was probably 10 then. It was probably 10%. But I just remember that throughout the week, I would hide shit that was on clearance so that on Friday, I could go and buy all the stuff off of clearance with my discount. Here's the other thing that Target used to do. Target would cash your check in the store free of charge. Listen, it ain't nothing like being able to get all your groceries, toiletries, household items, and everything in one stop shop and get them your paycheck and they ring your shit up and just give you the difference. Listen. Target used to get all my damn money back because it wasn't my main source of income. Target got it. Listen, if my check was $300, Target got $250.
I can see that. That is a very slick way.
Right, because they didn't charge you any check cashing fees. So for people who didn't have bank accounts, it was perfect because even if you and it was really no minimum of it, you could have bought a stick of gum, used your paycheck, and they would have gave you the difference. So there was no fees. I mean, I had a bank account, but again, I would do all my grocery shopping and stuff there. Why not? I'm getting a discount anyway. And like little toiletries and stuff like that, I would just, I would try to get as much of it on clearance as I could. So listen, Target was always my friend. Okay.
I just feel comfortable shopping in Target, whereas with Walmart, I just want to run out.
Ciao. All right, last but not least, and Yarrell, you can respectfully bow out of this topic if you choose to. But I know Lil Baby gonna have something to say. We ain't gonna spend but about 15 minutes on it because we ain't gonna be here all day talking about this thing. Khloe Kardashian and her addressing this picture. Now, Khloe said, listen, I ain't like the picture, and I have every right to take a picture off the internet that I don't like if I don't want to like it. I've had body issues my whole life, and I've always been called the ugly Kardashian. I've always been, and I've had issues. And so if now I don't want to have a picture out there that does not flatter me, I have every right to take that picture down. I mean, I guess if you have the resources, certainly you do. If you have the resources to get the picture taken down, sure, right?
Okay, but getting the picture taken down does not mean that people have not already downloaded it and saved it to their phone. And
I've seen it.
Wait 2 months and put it right back up. So if you want to drain your bank account and mess up your resources by having to constantly do this on a consistent basis, then by all means, sweetheart, do you, boo-boo.
My thing is this. First of all, I think we have a bigger issue because the picture wasn't a bad picture.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad photo.
It really wasn't a bad picture. I think she, and not just her, we have gotten so used to being able to filter and airbrush the fuck out of everything we
Absolutely.
uploaded that we no longer respect natural, just our natural beauty.
Absolutely.
Now, I will say this, as someone who I've always liked Khloe. Out of all the Kardashians, Khloe was my favorite.
I don't know none of them hoes.
I know. I do know that Khloe was always the one that was talked about. She was the one they called ugly. She was the one they called fat. She was the one. I mean, we still try to say that O.J. Simpson is her daddy and Rob Kardashian ain't. And so I'm sure that the reality is that she has dealt with a whole lot of that her whole life. And yes, she's on TV. And so, you know, she's been opened up to a certain level of Carol's daughter. Thank you, Patty Duke. That's the company I was trying to think of. Thank you. But and that's what I think it is, Abby. I think the bigger issue is over the years of that ridicule, I think she has developed body dysmorphia. And the scary thing about that is body dysmorphia is what a lot of people who have eating disorders deal with. They're bone thin, but they still look in the mirror and they see that they're fat. And I feel like with all of the work that Khloe Kardashian has done on herself, natural and unnatural, because some of it was natural, but some of it was not. She still does not see herself as beautiful. And I think that's the scarier part of that, because that picture just wasn't bad. I just didn't think it was a bad picture. She's thin, flat stomach. I mean, it's not a bad picture, but what she saw clearly alarmed her enough that she has her whole legal team trying to get that picture scrubbed from the internet. And I just think, and again, Khloe is the example, but she's not. I mean, it is a reflection of our society that these people have such, and it gives everybody else such an unrealistic, you know who, and I know somebody about to cuss me out in the chat right now, but you know who I respect the hell out of? Erica Mena. And y'all know why I respect the hell out of Erica Mena in this one little area, not in her whole life. Erica Mena does not Photoshop. I'm not going to say none of her pictures, but a lot of her pictures. She uploads her pictures in her bikinis for her ads, for her Fashion Nova ads, for her Instagram, and she shows her stretch marks. I have seen so many pictures of Erica Mena where they're not airbrushed and they're not filtered. And I can respect that because I feel like that's her own way of saying, this is who I naturally am. Yes, I got the snapback, but this is my body. Yes, y'all real.
Well, Crispy's mentioned the name, and before I got a chance to say it, but I'm gonna say this: I don't give a flying flippity floppity flu about any woman that does not belong to my community, because my attention is to Little Kim. And here's the thing: if this Persian American or whatever her nationality might be, whatever her ethnicity is, whatever problem she got, I will let her community rally behind her and give a fuck about her.
Okay.
He ain't care about mine, and that's all I can say about that.
All right. I felt the same way about Little Kim. I always thought Little Kim was cute, but again, Little Kim was a victim of the industry. Diddy used to call her fat and tell her she needed to lose weight. So some of her issues came from being in the industry. And again, that's why I respect the Queen Latifahs of the world who are like, listen, this is who the fuck you gonna get. I might lose a little weight because I want to be healthier, but I ain't never gonna fit your standard of beauty. So I'm just fucking beautiful. Like, I'm just gonna be who I am. Like, I can respect that. And I know it's not always easy to go against the norm, especially when you feel like, right, she's Armenian. That's what he was saying. He was saying that she's not black. Yeah, that's what he was saying. But can't acknowledge, yes, respect. Okay, that's fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we were talking about that the other day when we were talking about like the Punky Brewsters and the Kim Fields, and I was saying how, you know, the young lady who played Punky Brewster had a breast reduction before she was 20 years old because of the industry, because of the pressure that was put on her being developed. You know, Kim, if you listen to the girls from The Facts of Life, they made jokes about them being fat. All of them. They called them the fats of life because they said all of them were, chubby or fat or overweight or whatever. Now I know you wasn't talking. I thought you were talking to us, to the panel. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, so when you look back on like the facts of life, first of all, you look at Joe. Now we know that Natalie was thick, right? We know that, and I don't even think Kim Fields was fat. Like Kim Fields' body in the 80s is what these girls are paying for now. They're paying for breast and butt. Like I never thought Kim Fields was fat, but the pressure that was put on them, they talk about it. If you listen, you listen to them give interviews, they talk about how much pressure was put on them and how the studio put them on diets, and would humiliate them. And so I feel bad from Khloe Kardashian from the point of view of, yes, she's opened her life up to be on TV and all of that, but she clearly is dealing with something that's deeper. In my opinion, I ain't nobody's doctor, but in my opinion, I just feel like it's deep. I just feel like it's deeper. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Lilbaby, you've been quiet. What you got to say? Hey, Watermelon.
I'm going to throw it back to her own circle. We're not going to pretend like her sisters didn't help cultivate this false sense of beauty. This unattainable standard of beauty that isn't in any human. You can only find it in a doctor's office with a needle. They help cultivate that. Also, it's become so much a thing that's a part of her culture in LA. If you aren't getting anything done to your face, look at her 20-something-year-old sister. She looks 40. If you're not doing anything to your face or your body, you're in the wrong. So I get the social media aspect. I get strangers telling her she's the ugly one. Yeah, I understand that part. But I also have to come back in with the immediate circle, and the immediate circle did not reinforce, did not say to you,
I mean,
that you're fine the way you are. They actually promoted you getting whatever you want to get done.
Absolutely.
People wanting to get plastic surgery, do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm not paying for it. It's your body, whatever. But at the same time, I do think we go down a slippery slope when we say, if you don't like something about yourself, change it, which I have heard her mother say plenty of times. Oh, you don't like that about yourself? Just go and change it. We all going to continue to sit in the mirror all day poking and pride and saying, I don't like this about my nose. I don't like that one of my eyebrows does this. I don't like my lip does that.
I mean, Kim talked about the fact that she had breast implants and a nose job before she was 18. I mean, so like that, you're right. I agree with you 100%. And I agree also that is the environment she grew up in. If you go back and look at the earlier seasons of the Kardashians, which I mean, I never was like a every week watcher, but if it was on and I caught it, and on ETV, you always catch an episode of the Kardashians. So I caught episodes here and there, but they came. I mean, you're absolutely correct. Her own sisters came at her and called her names and called her fat and this and this. So it wasn't just us. It wasn't just society. It did start at home. And it started before the cameras started rolling. I mean, it wasn't something that just started today. It started before the cameras started.
The reason we have these big, ginormic, ant-sized asses is because of Kim Kardashian.
And J-Lo. Let's not leave J-Lo out of this. It actually started with J-Lo. It actually started with, because they was talking about J-Lo's ass before Kim's ass. But you're right.
Like, y'all started all of this shit. And then you got the nerve to tell us that we're wrong for making you all attain this unattainable beauty. No, you did this crap. You told us that beauty is at the end of a needle. Your noses did not look like that prior. You changed your hairlines. See, your eyebrows used to sit a little lower. And again, look at your sister Kylie. What, she's 22? 22 looking like that?
Go ahead.
Like, why does a 22-year-old feel the need that they need filler in their lower eye, in their under eye, and they need to chisel out their jaw, and they need Botox? You're 20 freaking 2. your brain hasn't even stopped developing.
Right. Go ahead.
And that plays into Riley Burris, who has a nose job at 18. For what?
Nope.
And I get it. I get she has the resources, but also she's 18 years old. She hasn't fully accepted who she is as an individual, and she's already chopped off half her face. Okay. That we have a problem here. It is a huge problem, and now it's becoming the beauty standard to not even look human. We forgot what real human beings look like. And if someone doesn't look like what someone should have been, like the other 25 people you scroll down Instagram and seen with the same damn face, oh my God, this is ugly. No, this is human. We have totally forgotten what human beings look like.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, boo.
I was just going to say, for this reason, I wish we were back in the 90s. Especially for those who remember our 90s music, or some of the artists like the Aaliyahs and the Mayas and whatnot, where we praise, and it's countless others, but we praise these women on how beautiful they look naturally, where there was nothing wrong with them. And I don't know, I guess when we got to the 2000s or maybe the 2010s, when everything went left, because it went from just accepting your beauty as it is to I want to sit here and look like a cartoon character. Like, and
part of it became that plastic surgery became so much more accessible too. I think before, when plastic surgery was like this thing up on a hill that most people could not get to, I think that people knew, well, I just got to deal with what's here and learn to love me because I can't change it. But now it is so accessible and it's so easy, whether it's legal or illegal. It's so easy to change what you don't like about yourself, And
again, that's a slippery slope, because now we're in a society that doesn't like themselves. We're always in the mirror, poking and prodding. What can I change? I don't like this about me. I don't like that about me. Oh, I wish my breast looked like this. Oh, I wish my hips stuck out like this. Oh, I wish my knees didn't look like this. Let me go do this. And it's like, well, damn, when is it going to stop?
Right.
Well, I mean, but part of it is they get addicted to it. It's almost like, again, this is just me speaking from what I've been told, because I don't have tattoos, but people that I know that get tattoos, they say it's a certain feeling they get when they get it, and it makes them want to get another one and another one, another one. So
it becomes addictive, yeah.
They become addicted to whatever the process is. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And again, people can feel how they want to feel. Whether she got paid to do it or not, I respect the fact that Sierra did her Weight Watchers campaign after she had her last baby, and she said, "Listen, to some people, I might be fine, but for me, I know where I want to be and what my goal is. And Weight Watchers is to help everybody achieve that goal. And I appreciate that it wasn't the whole snap back. Because again, I think celebrities are giving women an unrealistic view of reality of having a baby and where your body is a day or 2 days after you have a baby. And so I can respect,
unrealistic.
again, whether she got paid to do it or not, I can respect the fact that, Sierra is saying, listen, I'm having a hard time after my third child getting these. And yes, I got private chefs. And yes, I can hire a private attorney. A private trainer. And yes, I have resources. But at the end of the day, I still need a little bit of help. And no, I might not have to be on Weight Watchers for the rest of my life, but it's going to help me get these last 10, 15 pounds up off me. And again, I know I would love to have Sierra's body, but for Sierra, she's used to her body looking a certain way. And so again, I respect that everybody that is not going to have that snapback. And I feel like I remember Tia, one of the twins, saying, listen, she posted a picture of her and after she had her last child, very much still had baby weight. She said, listen, this is the reality for most of us. And I'm not going to pretend that my body has done something miraculous that it ain't doing. It's going to take a little bit of extra time. It's going to take a little bit of extra this to get this weight up off me, because this just ain't This ain't the norm.
Like it is so much that goes into a woman's body after childbirth. First and foremost, your uterus has been stretched out 10 times its size, so it's swollen.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, you have hormones that have been put into play that say stay fat because you're nurturing a baby. So losing weight on top of having a swollen uterus, I mean, snapback for some people, for the most part, doesn't happen.
You messing up, little baby. I don't know. Your sound is messing up.
Can you hear me?
Okay, it's better now. Go ahead, finish up.
Okay. Well, what I was saying is, on top of your uterus being swollen and stretched out because it was in a state that it hasn't been in for well over 10 months, you have hormones that are in place saying stay fat because you're nurturing a baby. So you have all of this is at work. So this whole perception of you're going to have a baby and snap back, even if you do work out 10 times out the week prior to you ever getting pregnant, it's still not a guarantee that you're just going to push out a baby and go back to normal. And that's not what happens.
And let's be clear. I'm not saying that I have an issue with people getting plastic surgery. That ain't what I'm saying either. I'm with you, DC, and I 100% agree with Dolly. Dolly said, listen, that's one of my favorite quotes by Dolly. And Dolly is very clear that she is not going to age gracefully. As long as she can, she will, okay? And I'm not saying that there's a problem with that. All I'm saying is we have to understand that that's not the norm. Like, nobody looks at Dolly Parton and thinks that that's natural. And she's never pretended to be that it's natural.
Right,
For example, in Khloe Kardashian's statement today, she said that she did all of that naturally, that she hasn't had any surgery. And that's bullshit.
And that's the problem. Bullshit. That's the problem.
Because Dolly Parton will let you know in a minute
of what human beings look like and go through.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I ain't saying, listen, do you? I just think that there has to be a point where you look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm good. And I think for the people who, the people like the little Kims of the world, they never got to that. Well, I can say they never, but when they finally got to that point, it was like, no, girl, you was good 3 surgeries ago. You know what I mean? I feel the same way about Cardi. Like, Cardi, stop. Like, this last breast implant situation she got, I think it's too much. She had lipo, right after she had her daughter. I'm like, give your body time to adjust. You don't need all of that. But she looked in the mirror and that's what she thought she needed. So anyway, child. You have increased blood production, extra fluids, developing breast tissue, milk, swollen, bleeding, stretching uterus, among other things. After you have a baby, you go from looking 9 months to 7 months. Yeah, I just feel like that's the issue for me, is just be honest about it. But anyway, I just think it's a bigger issue. And like I said, out of all of the Kardashians, Khloe was the one that I used to like. Not that I knew any of them personally, but I'm just saying her personality, But it is what it is, child. We getting ready to wrap it up. It's been an hour and a half. We getting ready to wrap it up. Y'all, what you got coming down the pike? I know that you took some time off, so what you got coming down the pike? Is it me? I can't hear you.
My bad.
Oh, okay. I was like, huh?
I thought, okay, yeah. That was funny. So yeah, if all goes well and I feel like I'm done relaxing, I should be back to shooting my videos starting Sunday, which will be Atlanta and Married to Medicine. And I'll still be doing Jersey. And I think that's it for right now. I don't think I'm picking up anything else.
Okay. All right.
We'll see. I don't know.
All right. Anything you want to share with the people, little baby, before we go?
I'll be around here.
Little baby's not a content creator, but she'll be around.
Putting the Avon link in the chat.
That's it. Thank you. Now listen, let me say this to y'all about the Avon. Now I told y'all, as long as y'all was buying the Avon, I would keep selling the Avon. Now ain't nobody buying none, so that means y'all got all y'all need. Y'all don't need no more Avon. Y'all good? Is that what's going on? Y'all good? Y'all good? Don't nobody need no more Avon? Don't nobody need no re-ups? Don't nobody need no re-ups? Okay. I'm going to give y'all another deal of the day. I gave y'all a good deal yesterday on that liquid eyeshadow. Okay, that $10. I told you could get the extra 4% off of the Rakuten. Okay. I'm going to give y'all some more deals. I'm going to give y'all some more deals. I'm going to give y'all to the end of the month. I'm going to see what y'all talking about. Why are you laughing at me, y'all?
I'm laughing at watermelon sugar. That's
okay. I'm about to say, why you laughing at me? You got to put an order in this weekend. Okay, good. Watch Invincible. What is Invincible even about, Abby?
It's a superhero show on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I will be checking it out after I finish up. What is this show? Hilda on Netflix.
And I'm trying to get caught up this week, you guys. If I can get caught up on all my regular shows this week, y'all will get some retros this weekend, including A Wire.
What?
I've been wanting to give y'all A Wire, but I just hadn't been able to get caught up. So my goal is to get caught up. And so this weekend, somebody was asking me today when they're going to get another Different World and all of that. Y'all will get some throwbacks this weekend. Well, I understand that watermelon sugar, and for all of y'all Avon all y'all makeup heads, I respect that. But go and get you some Skin So Soft and get you some essential oils and some lotion. They got all kinds of stuff. Hey, Almond Brown. Now listen, thank you. I appreciate it. Almond, don't go nowhere yet. Almond Brown, watermelon sugar. Can you drop Almond Brown's link in the chat? Now, Almond Brown. I've dropped the ball on the book club too. I'm gonna get caught up on the book club too. I'll be dropping a video over there either today or tomorrow, giving y'all information, and we're gonna readjust some things. But Almond Brown does book readings over on her channel, and she has been reading the James Caldwell, aka Spilly Boy, aka Milan Trejor series. So y'all get on over there. It is quite entertaining. Remember, I was going to do one of the Milan Trejor books for my book club, but we never did get around to it. So she is doing it over there. So her link is going to be dropped in the chat, and y'all go over there and y'all show her some love for me, please. And also on Friday nights, are you doing it this week, Almond Brown? Are you doing your red light, your after dark, your conversations this Friday? She also has, intimate conversations, okay, on Fridays. I believe it's the red light. The red light. Okay. That's her link, y'all. That's her YouTube channel. Watermelon Sugar just dropped it for me. And y'all go show her some love. God, go check her out. But also, if you sometimes just want to have, some, some grown folk conversation. She says tomorrow at 10 o'clock. All right. So we'll be done with RuPaul. I was over there, not last Friday, but the Friday before that. I dipped my head in for a few minutes. It was a good time. So y'all go check out Miss Almond Brown. I appreciate you coming through, showing me some love. And y'all check her out. And again, y'all know anybody that is showing love to Mother, I'm gonna show love to. And she's been reading all of his books over there. She started with A Boy Like Me, which is his autobiography, and she has been moving forward from there. So y'all go check her out. And Spiller Boy be over there too, honey. Spiller Boy be over there too. So y'all go ahead and check her out. All right. Anybody else? Y'all know Abby. If y'all ain't subscribed to Abby, I know y'all better be subscribed to Abby.
Y'all go to Ebbs.
Yes. Oh, yes. And she will drop the link. So if y'all want to come onto the panel and get into the intimate conversation, by all means, make sure y'all going over there.
Abby, if you needed rope, all you had to do was call me.
Rope? What we need rope? You getting what done? And what you getting done in Puerto Rico? What is Abby talking about for Puerto Rico? Listen, I'm not doing this with her. I'm not doing this with her. And oh, y'all talking about Hamilton?
You laughing hard. We gonna get you.
She got about 10 minutes of it, 10, 15 minutes of it in. We got about 10, 15 minutes of Hamilton in. We got about listen. While she was doing my makeup, she had Hamilton playing. The thing is, I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't see shit. I'm blind, y'all. I hate to be the one to tell y'all I'm blind. Xavier said what in the hyena was that? Listen, anyway, y'all, we getting out of here. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate once again, y'all. Thank you for your time. Lilbaby, thank you for your time and y'all's input and expertise. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you to the chat. I'm joking, but I'm serious about the Avon. I ain't making y'all buy nothing, but it would be great if you did. I can see the drink when I don't have my glasses on. What? How was that even a comparison? That is not even a comparison. Me being able to smell the liquor is totally different. Anyway, I'm out. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.